Hey, what's
Hello.
what's going on today?
Good morning, man. Good morning.
Nice to meet you.
Everything under the sun, man. Nice to meet you too. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, cool. So, where are you located on the planet?
I'm actually in Los Angeles, California.
Okay, excellent. Well, I'm in the middle of the
Yeah.
country. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Dap smack in the middle.
right in the
Cool, man.
middle. Belly button of America, for sure. Well, man, it's
Awesome.
it's great to meet you. Do you have any questions before we hop in?
Basically, I just want to apologize for last time. I am so sorry.
It's
I was
fine.
like literally in the middle looking at my phone, and we're like, yeah, be great to meet. Then all of a sudden you're like, you're ready. And I'm like, oh, is it today? So no, I terribly apologize.
You're fine.
I just want to say I appreciate the rescheduling, and no, pretty much I'm just pretty open game for whatever you want to talk about today,
Okay,
music wise. So
cool. Well, I come from jazz radio, so
yeah.
this is my bread and butter.
Oh, nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Okay,
So
sweet.
we're in good shape here. So yeah, cool. Well, again, it's great to meet you. I'm looking forward to getting into it and to begin our journey into your music and your career. I want to know 5 years ago, this pandemic was changing so many things about our lives. How did you get through that time period, and how has it changed the way that you approach life today?
Sure. No, excellent question. The pandemic was definitely an event for sure. For me, I think I just used it to really just kind of hone in on my musical skills. I'm more of a producer, to kind of learn more about producing. I'm more into sort of like jazz house, which was kind of interesting because I normally do like kind of pop R&B dance type music, but this was a little bit different because this was more kind of jazz house oriented, meaning like it had the funk of house music, but then it had like the horns from jazz and kind of sampled a lot of old type jazz riffs from songs from like the 30s and 40s, things of that nature. So it's a lot of fun. A lot of
Yeah.
fun.
So let's get into exactly what you do
Yeah,
on a daily basis. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of grade school kids, 12 years old. It's career day.
sure.
And one of the kids is like, "What do you do for a living?" How do you answer them?
I say I am a singer, songwriter, entertainer. So that basically means anything from performing in front of audiences to creating songs to actually performing the songs as well, including some acting thrown in there too. So,
So when you were 12 years old, when you were a kid, what was your dream job? Was it always going to be in entertainment?
yes, always a singer. Started singing at the age of 6 professionally. Just being in front of audiences in churches, weddings, different banquets, various ceremonies, and really just kind of getting a feel for what it feels like to be on stage. Obviously, the first time was a little bit scary because I kind of had a little bit of stage fright going up in front of a big audience, but after the first time, it felt like home after getting the accolades and the awards from people clapping and stuff. So, yeah,
So where were you
really
born and
nice.
raised? Where are you from?
I, I'm actually a former military brat, believe it or not.
Okay.
So when I was born, my parents were in the military. So I was actually born in Holland. So we were stationed there for about maybe 2 to 3 years, Germany, Holland area. And then we moved to the States, Oklahoma, and then to South Carolina. And then Georgia was the last place we settled. So I consider Augusta, Georgia officially home. So
Okay.
yeah.
So, what was it about your family or the early years that gave you this ability or this dream of getting into entertainment?
Well, my father is a bass player and a guitar player, and my mother is a piano player. She plays mainly by ear, but I think I was just always surrounded by music. I grew up watching Soul Train, American Bandstand, Solid Gold. My dad played in a few bands, and so I felt like I was just always sort of immersed with music. But believe it or not, drums was the first instrument that I actually fell in love with. So I started playing drums before I started singing, but eventually I realized I really couldn't do the Phil Collins thing. So I kind of switched off being more of a front guy than being somebody on the drum set. So
So,
yeah.
what was the first live show that you saw? that really made you think, I want to do that one day? I love this. I need more of it.
Wow. Well, it's interesting. Television was really a huge, huge influence on seeing performers perform every Saturday on the Soul Train. It just did something to me as far as like seeing them in costume, watching them perform, and just really getting a sense of what entertainment is like. But my first live show, if you want to go live and not lip sync, I would probably have to say my first live show was actually Sister Sledge,
Okay.
singing them in Philadelphia at a place called the Robin Hood Dell. And so at the time, it was like the early 80s. They had kind of moved away from the whole disco scene and was sort of delving more into the R&B type stuff. But it was just a great show. A lot of banter back and forth with the audience, great choreography, strong vocals, just everything that you would want to see in a show. Like you definitely got your money's worth, and you left feeling uplifted and inspired, and like, man, that was excellent. So that's what kind of gave me the influence to kind of like do the same thing, basically. So
So
yeah,
who were early influences? Who were some people that you looked up to, that you emulated, that really has helped you in your career?
yeah, definitely have to say Citrus Sledge for sure. Stevie Wonder, Earth, Wind and Fire, Philip Bailey, Mariah Carey, a lot of the, I guess, basically traditional R&B type acts have really kind of influenced me quite a bit. When I got older, I kind of delved more into like new wave, pop rock, and I think that's just because radio was kind of changing at the time to kind of bring more of the pop dance stuff in. But those would probably definitely be my influences for sure.
So what about heroes? Who's been kind of an inspiration or a hero for you in your journey?
Overall, I would definitely, I know this kind of sounds trite, but I would definitely have to say my parents. I know that people say, oh, my dog Fido, or oh, my left shoulder, but really, I honestly have to say them because they are true champions of just, always making sure that you're doing the right thing. And the right thing basically means that you're um, not only like following God, but also just treating other people with respect and decency, putting other people's needs first. And so that, I feel like that kind of filters into my whole business model, like dealing with booking gigs. When you book gigs, you make sure that you have a good connection with the venue owner, the promoter, and then the day of the show, make sure you treat the staff well, even the person that's cleaning up for you. I mean, because everybody is important to the whole, never want to slight anybody. So, you want to make sure that you always have a good rapport with others and build that up as much as you possibly can as you go. So, yeah,
So
hope
if
that
you,
makes sense.
yeah, it totally makes sense. So if you could meet any musician alive today, spend some time with them, someone that might help you on your journey, ask them some questions. Is there somebody you would love to meet?
I would definitely like to meet Lou Ross. That was another entertainer that influenced me growing up. As a matter of fact, I did like a lot of. I used to sing for beauty pageants and local pageants as well. And "You'll Never Find" was like one of the songs that I used to perform, along with a couple of other of his hits. But I really admire Lou Ross because of the way that he was able to kind of come up during the time of segregation and eventually um, push past that and allowed the music to really just kind of speak for him. His music brought both black and white audiences together. And I never remember reading any interviews or articles where he kind of talked down on anyone. It was always just very professional, keeping it cool, very kind of like, hey, that's the way it is, but I got to do my show, take it or leave it kind of thing, and made great music and was a great performer. And, that deep baritone, velvety, bass voice. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
go wrong with that, man.
Oh, yeah.
So Yeah.
What was the first stage that you performed on that was something you kind of dreamed of or wished for, and you were like, "Wow, I'm doing it." You almost had to pinch yourself.
You know, wow, that's a great question. I'm trying to think. First stage, first stage. Um, I would honestly say my high school talent show. Well, a school because it went from fifth grade to 12th grade, but during my middle school years, it would have to be our high school auditorium because it was a fine arts school and it was very well known in the area in the state of Georgia. And so being able to actually perform on that kind of made me feel like, okay, we're getting somewhere, because I'm being recognized by my peers and this is kind of a step towards the next direction. So I probably have to say that early experience there. So
What would be a dream stage for you? Let's just put it out there. What would be the place that you would love to perform at?
I was telling some friends this the other day. It's interesting you mentioned that. Um, I would love to actually perform on one of the late night television shows.
Yeah,
That would be my dream stage. Yeah, like Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, Steve Colbert, one of those late night shows because I feel like late night is where they've had and what better way to give them a good night send off by having some good entertainment by performing and singing your songs. So
absolutely.
yeah.
For sure. So let me ask you this. What is it that gets you up every day to create, to perform, to put this music out into the world? What is that motivation for you? And you also have to take care of your own soul. What is that energy for you?
Sure. Yeah, it definitely does require a balance. So it's interesting that you mentioned that as well. But for the foremost forefront, basically it's just inspiring people, really changing people's lives with the music that I make in the sense that if they hear something, it makes them feel better in a way. If they're feeling down, they can kind of like wallow in it, but eventually kind of get back up on their feet. If it gives them a boost, if it gives them a lift, that's what kind of makes me want to do more, want to create. As far as myself, self care, I definitely have to get more sleep. I find that the older I get, I can't do the young guy thing, hanging out 3 and 4 in the morning and then getting up like at 6 and 7 and expecting to kind of greet the world with a happy face. No, it doesn't work that way. So definitely rest, balancing time with family and friends for sure, prayer, meditation, and just really just kind of making sure I kind of slow down a bit. Being an indie artist that I am, I find that everything pretty much falls on me. So there's a constant hustle in the sense where you're taking care of your shows, you're taking care of the creative production, you're taking care of travel arrangements. I mean, everything pretty much falls on me. So I have to kind of be careful that I'm not like overdoing it by staying up too late or waking up too early and not setting the boundaries. Like, okay, dude, this is the cutoff time. Go and watch some Netflix. Do whatever. You can't do any more today. You've done all you can do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I
So
think
yeah.
one of the added elements of being a performer today is that we live in a world that is increasingly strange, and there's a lot that's going on right now that's creating
Yes.
stress for people. How much
Yes.
of that is on your mind when you go and perform, that you're giving people a way to escape the headlines and to just feel good and feel that glow of an entertainer giving them that free ticket?
That's always at the forefront of my mind because I feel like people don't have to pay to see you. I mean, they could have stayed home, they could have spent their money elsewhere. So I feel like as an artist, performing artist, that's my obligation and my duty to make sure that I take them away while I'm on stage as much as possible. Now, every blue moon, depending on the songs, um, there's a song I have called We Can Forgive, which kind of has a strong message of forgiveness. So I try to kind of sort of do a light banter about like the message of making sure that we just kind of live and let live type thing. But even that, I don't harp on that for too long because, like I said, I'm here to take you away. I don't want to get too serious and melodramatic with things, but yeah, that's always first and foremost. My goal is to make them feel like they spent their time well worth what they used it for, basically. So Yeah.
So you've had this dream of being in entertainment since you've been very young. And when you
Uh-huh.
have the dream, you have this idea of what your career is going to be. And then
Yeah.
you get in there and you're doing it and it's happening. What's the difference
Yeah.
between the dream and the reality of doing it?
Yeah. The big difference is the fact that nothing is what it appeared to be. I will be honest about that in the sense that your the feelings that you thought you would have once you sometimes accomplish and get these things done are different than what you actually feel the day of. And I think it's just because it's a number of factors. You don't realize how much preparation went into that actual moment. So sometimes when it actually happens, you might be a little bit tired, or the logistics of how you thought things would go are a little bit different. Maybe there's sound check issues, equipment malfunction, maybe a band player canceled at the last minute, so now you got to regroup and get a fill in. So it's just really different. But even in that, I think the big lesson in that is just to enjoy while you go. Obviously, the end result is cool, but you have to kind of have fun and enjoy the process too. Because if you don't, then it just kind of makes everything else pretty sour, to be honest with you.
For
So,
sure. So
yeah,
if you were to have a dream tonight, you walked in to the childhood bedroom you had at age 13, at
yeah,
your age now, and you showed that young version of you a book of your
yeah,
life and pictures, and the young version was confused, and you were like, "That's what happened. That's my life." Would your
yeah.
young version believe it?
I think so. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My young version would be proud of the fact that I've actually made it this far, considering life's obstacles and twists and turns and things of that nature, and just growth as an artist, because I think being an artist is also learning about being yourself too. You kind of grow as you go, and then different things that you encounter, you can either take those things and use it to your advantage to make your artistry better or yourself better as a person, or you can just kind of fall flat and just kind of give up and say, okay, I'm checking out. So,
Yeah.
13-year-old would definitely be happy, I think. So, yeah.
So, what do you like the best about being in the entertainment capital of the world in Los Angeles? What's the best part of it?
The historical part. I mean, I feel like I'm in a place where there's a lot of history made. I often perform at the Whiskey A Go Go, which is one of my favorite venues to perform. And then also, you got the Hollywood Bowl and just a lot of different landmarks that hold a lot of music history as well as a lot of film history. So I think just being here around those types of landmarks really kind of just continues to inspire me to push more. Obviously, it's a little bit different today because I feel like the music landscape has changed a bit, but I feel as though as long as we kind of give homage to the past and recognize those that have kind of come before us as artists to kind of pave the way to where we are now, then we'll always keep that sort of in the forefront of the beauty of what they've done and what's been created so far. So
Right on. So, let me
yeah,
ask you this. You you've performed in front of a lot of people and you probably get a lot of different reactions from fans and people in the crowd. But what's been one of your favorite comments, one of your favorite experiences after a show?
I think my favorite experience is really just sort of getting to talk with the people that attend and hearing how some of the songs that I did for that night really took them back to good times, good memories. It made them feel good. Because a lot of my shows, I do originals and covers kind of mixed together. Not quite at the point where all my originals are well known and they just want to hear that. So you have to kind of bend a little bit and kind of give people something they can recognize. So with that being said, when I do certain cover songs, a lot of people come up and like, oh, thank you for doing this song. It really meant a lot. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for just making me happy. Thank you for taking the time to kind of share your music. So when it's like that, I it to me is well worth it because some days you are a little bit rougher than others. I mean, like some performances, maybe you're not vocally as much in shape, or um, it just can be any variety of factors. But you give it 100%, and then once you're done, people still see that and it's like they're grateful for it. So it kind of makes you feel like, okay, I did my job. I came and I did what I was supposed to do. So that makes me feel good. So yeah.
So, i- of everything that you've done, everything you've accomplished, everything you've evolved to, what are you the proudest of?
Wow. I think really just okay, sort of okay, that's a two-pronged answer.
Yeah.
So the one part of it on a spiritual personal level, I'm proud of my tenacity. I'm proud of the consistency of just continuing to make music in spite of everything that goes on around me and in the world. And then on the musical side, I think I'm really just proud of some of the songs that I've written. Not to be like narcissistic or anything, but I feel like not every song that I've written is like a home run, quote unquote, but there are a few gems that I call that really just kind of have a special magic about them. And it could be maybe the way I sang it, maybe the way the musicians played on it, maybe the arrangements, whatever it makes it special. I'm just proud that I actually took the time to actually do it and didn't chalk it off as like, oh, that's just an idea for way in the future. I actually took the time to put it down on paper and record it and put it down on wax and make it real, basically.
I
So
love it.
happy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone has a perception of you, family, friends,
Yeah.
fans, everyone in a business sense, but you're in control. You run the show. What's your
Sure.
perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I am probably an optimistic fool. That's probably, to be honest with you, yeah. I'm very, very, very not saying that I get down, but I don't stay down too long. I feel like positivity and being optimistic about what you're doing and how you're doing things really, really does make a difference. And um, it doesn't mean that things are always going to be perfect. Obviously, they aren't, but I feel like if we just kind of take the time to kind of shift our perspective a little bit and try to kind of put a positive spin as much as we possibly can on something, then that goes a long way. Because I think eventually you kind of realize that whatever it was that kind of bothered you, it definitely goes away after a certain period of time, or you just kind of learn how to finagle it and not let it get to you. So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So I gotta know if you could get into a time machine and go back in
yeah,
time and see one concert, where are
yeah.
you going? Who are you going to see?
Uh, I think it was the Monterey Bay where Otis Redding performed and Mamas and the Papas and everybody. No, Monterey Jazz Festival. I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah,
what it was.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would love to see that, man. That
yeah.
would be amazing. That would
Gotta be out
actually
of sight.
absolutely be amazing. Yeah.
So if anyone wants to get your music, catch you live, any of the good business, where do they go?
Uh, Definitely just go to my website, www.kenneith, Kenneith, Perrin.com. All of my stuff is listed there. As a matter of fact, I'll be going on tour starting um, January 2nd, but I'll put the tour announcement up in about 2 weeks. So
Okay.
see all the tickets, see all the shows and things of that nature. So yeah,
I will put all of that in the show notes.
yeah.
This has been a delight. Thank you so much, Kenneith. I really appreciate your time, your story. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah,
Appreciate it, man. And
thank
is it
you.
okay if I can get a commentary at the bottom of your podcast page, like 5 stars, or how do I do that? Like,
Oh, oh, for me?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh
for
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you do a review, I think when you complete, it'll do a review, and I'll be sure to do a glowing one for you as well. So
Thank
I will
you,
get
man.
that out there, and I get this done pretty quick, so I'll have links over. But this has been absolutely great. I really appreciate it, and no worries about the other day. I meant to say that up front. It's
Okay.
first world problems. We're all trying to figure it out. We connected, right? So we're here. We did it. We got it done. So it's all good. But
I
man,
appreciate it, man.
love the energy, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take
Take
care.
care.
God bless you, man. Love you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Take care.
All
Bye
right.
bye. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.